Don't mess with our flag. That's the message from seemingly lots of people in England after Nike released our great nation's new football kit. So Nike called this marking on the back of the new England collar. They said it was a playful update to the flag of St. George, which they said appears on the collar to unite and inspire. So as you can see, it's a modification of the St. George's flag. The horizontal line has been changed from red to shades of purple and blue. Now I can see how, to Nike, that update might have seemed playful, but for many Brits, this wasn't all fun and games, and it certainly didn't unite and inspire. Outrage has been unleashed online and in the papers. And on Thursday night, Keir Starmer got involved.
Was it wrong for Nike to change the cross of St. George on the back of the New England kit?
Yeah, I think it was. And I think
What
it's
was
hard.
it they were doing?
Look, I mean, as you know, I'm a big football fan. I go to England games, men and women's game, and the flag is used by everybody. It is a unified, it doesn't need to be changed. We just need to be proud of it. So I think they should just reconsider this and change it back.
All right.
I'm not even sure they can properly explain why they thought they needed to change in the first place.
Now, if you thought he was feigning outrage, have a look at Emily Thornberry on GB News.
I think it's all very odd. I mean, if you look at it, what have Nike done? I mean, seriously, you can hardly recognise it as the England flag, can you? I mean, England flag is a simple white background and a red cross. Seems to me, why can't they just leave it alone? Imagine how cross the French would get if they started putting bits of purple on the tricolour, or they changed the Welsh flag, took away the dragon and stuck a pussycat on instead. I mean, people would be up in arms. You know, I think that he's right. I think, why can't we just have as just a straight England flag on the back of these shirts?
Yeah, but to be fair, you're not a particular fan of the St. George's Cross, are you?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you had to. You took the mickey out of someone flying the England flag and had to resign as a result of it.
Oh, you're talking about a photo I took 10 years ago.
Yes.
And I put on Twitter. Yeah, no, I took a photo 10 years ago of a house that was completely covered in England flags. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
And people made all sorts of assumptions about it? All right, okay. Sorry, I'm so far beyond, like, kind of trying to sort of explain, you know, it was a photograph, you know, and other people have decided what it was that I was thinking or saying. You know, I mean, as I say, it was a very long time ago. But I did, you know, as far as I was concerned, if it was going to do any damage to the Labour Party, do you know what I did? I resigned. Do you remember when people used to do that when they made a mistake? We haven't seen that forever, I think, from this lot. You know, they don't do resigning, do they?
Now, if that was her sober in the morning, I'd love to see Emily Thornberry drunk. She's got a lot of vim, even if her politics are all over the place. Labour, you know, one thing you can give them, this was one of the few times they were ahead of the Tories. So Labour were already outraged at these new shirts on Thursday night. That's when Keir Starmer was speaking. It took the Tories until 9:30 on Friday morning to come out against the kit. So Lucy Fraser is the culture secretary. She said this: fans should always come first, and it's clear that this is not what fans want. Our national heritage, including the St. George's Cross, brings us together. Toying with it is pointless and unnecessary. And not wanting to miss out, Rishi Sunak has been speaking to TV cameras.
Obviously, I prefer the original, and my general view is that when it comes to our national flags, we shouldn't mess with them because they're a source of pride, identity, who we are, and they're perfect as they are.
They're perfect as they are. It's got kind of like Mother's Day card vibe to it when Rishi Sunak speaks about these things. I love the way he is a football. Of course, all of these people are massive football fans. It's not at all put on for the cameras. The FA, though, have said this afternoon they have no intention of recalling the kit. They're not listening to Sunak or Starmer or Thornberry. In any case, we have perhaps got a bit more sensitive about changing the colours of flags than we used to be. So for the 2012 Olympics, Team GB got Stella McCartney to design their kit. And this was the result. So it's a Union Jack, which was made white with various shades of blue. So they've clearly changed the colour of that flag. There were some sort of bits of red included, but that's definitely a modification. Aaron, have we got a bit more sensitive than we used to be? This has caused a lot of outrage. 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, I suppose now, we had I quite like that Stella McCartney kit. I quite like this thing on the back of the new football kit, but no one else seems to.
Well, that's you in the bad books of GB News, Michael. I personally, I accept the argument that if this happened in any other country, the reaction would have been the same. And I actually personally can't think of a single example of this happening with the Brazil kit, the Italy kit, the France kit, the Spain kit. I cannot think of this happening. I have to be honest. So that's the first point. Secondly, I don't really care. Third point, the thing I care about more than anything we've mentioned is the fact that a child's football kit for England is £65. A child's kit. That to me, if it was half the price and they kept the flag, I mean, I take that. If you're talking about what matters to you and the various costs and whatnot, but I can understand why people are upset about it, Michael, because like I said, there is really no comparison that I can think of in modern football kits. I'm sure some clever cogs will pop one out in the comments, but I certainly can't think of one. You obviously had the Olympic kit, like you said, in 2012, although that did anger some people. It certainly didn't elicit this kind of reaction, wholesale condemnation from both political parties. What I found really remarkable, Michael, is yesterday we had the news that child poverty is just extraordinary levels. I think the highest level in 30 years. And we had less of a response from both major political parties on that because they were focusing on the colours chosen by Nike for the England football kit. I think that says quite a lot. So, to be brief, I understand why somebody would be upset. I personally don't find it that big a deal. And the real affront to me is the cost of these kits for young kids. Because if you're saying this is something which should belong to everyone, I agree. I grew up watching the England national team. One of the first football matches I remember is England losing to the Netherlands in a World Cup 94 qualifier, where Graham Taylor famously said, "I do not like orange." The point is, though, I think what's of significance to young kids who want to feel part of something bigger is being able to buy the kit in the first place. So I would like us to be talking about that instead, but I get it. Those aren't the colours of St. George.